Hey, what's happening? Tim with Nomad Trading. What is up, Nomad Nation? Let's do a little bit of runner recap on the day's hottest stocks. Look back and see what was moving today. I apologize for yesterday. I planned to do this yesterday, but I was in a business meeting with a conference call, and that ended up running like way beyond what it should have. So anyway, by the time I got done, it was getting into the evening. So anyway, skipped out on that, moved on. But we're here today, and there was quite a few moving today. I was actually out of the office again today, working on other things that I need to be getting done. So I was kind of in and out. I did take a couple trades today, but I was trying to get some breakouts, and both of them didn't go where I thought, and I jumped out. So plus like $20, so basically break even on the day. But anyway, we can look at some of the stocks that were moving today. There was a few good plays. One that I really missed out on, that was my pattern that I love so much, and it was picture perfect. But okay, well, this one's the one I got pulled up right now at the moment, so we'll just jump into this. It's not the most exciting, only 5 million shares traded, so I'll just skim over it pretty quick. But it was up, as you can see down here on the daily chart. Also, I hope that this is streaming well, because I've got lots of programs running on my computer. Hopefully this is working out and you guys aren't seeing a bunch of buffering or something. But anyway, big gap up right here. NPAWW was the ticker. It broke out past its resistance there, gapped up big, was only in the 150. Let's see what the high was yesterday, 155, and today it got all the way up here to, I gotta switch my tools here, got all the way up here to 245 or so. So pretty big day, up $1 a share from what it was yesterday. So that was exciting. The only trade that I saw on it, and it wasn't when I was watching it, by the time I saw it, it was already up here. But this would have been a nice trade right here. If you look just real quick, we can skim over this. And this is the pattern that I think if every trader just learned this pattern, because it's like the same thing over and over, basically a bull pennant or bull flag, but it happens on all different time frames over and over again. So if you're a bullish trader and you like to go long, really you just look for this pattern all day on different time frames, and that's, when it breaks out, you go long. If it looks choppy and looks like it's possibly going to fail, you get out of it. So like this one, for instance, you could kind of see that the pull wasn't as nice and straight and pronounced as I'd like. If you come all the way down here to where it was at, like pre-market, then it's a nice big pull. Then you got your flag right there. As it breaks that, then you go long. It did come back down and test it, so if you had your stop set right there at the breakout level, it would have probably stopped you out. But had you set it a little bit lower, I would not set the breakout or the stop right there at the breakout level, because a lot of times stock will come back down and test that level where the trend line is. So set it a little below that. Anyway, so that would have been a nice trade, because it went all the way up into the 240s, and you would have gotten in somewhere in the 222 range pretty easily. And yeah, got a nice 20 cents a share pretty easily. Let's see what else we had. That pattern, this was another one. This was picture perfect for that pattern. You can see it. This was the one that I really felt like I missed out on. It's coming down now. And I was actually watching it yesterday, and my brother actually was trading it, so he made money on it yesterday, and we were joking around. He sold yesterday. If I zoom out one day, yesterday's move seemed pretty big, and he sold it, I think, at 50 cents. And I told him yesterday, I said, if this comes back down and holds up, I could see it curling and going to $1. And he's like, oh, you're crazy. It's not going to go to $1. I was looking back at the long-term daily chart. If you zoom out a little ways, you can see that it likes to pop up. It has huge moves and then comes back down. And so I told him, it's possible, I think, that you got to zoom out farther. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Zooming out farther. And the way it was kind of curling up and having a big day yesterday, I said, I could see it popping up and going to $1 and hitting this kind of dollar resistance and the whole dollar mark and then popping right back down. And sure enough, the very next day. But anyway, that was just, speculation. But what I really think is important is if you zoom out and you see like there's your big pull, there's your bull pennant as it consolidates and gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then once it starts breaking out of that, boom, you go long. So here we see the exact same pattern again, where you could have got in somewhere around 84 cents, 85 cents. You could even do a high of daybreak and buy it here at 88 cents and then scalped it up to $1. And then I would have been getting out near $1, just under $1, probably expecting it to run into resistance around $1 just to play it safe. That's what I would have done. But anyway, just wanted to point out that once again, perfect pattern. And if you see way down here yesterday, same thing. It goes up, it consolidates like a pennant, and then it shoots up more. We see it all the time on all different time frames, and to me it's the single most important thing that new traders, or any traders really, if you're an actual day trader intraday, to learn that. Okay, sorry, I've been ignoring the chat there, got to blabbing. Wish I would have gotten into WNW. I didn't see WNW. I'll have to check that out. Oh, where do you normally find such runners? I don't see that on FinViz or my scanner. MarketWatch is where I found that one. You can kind of toggle it how you want it. So I use that. It's a screener, not a scanner. And FinViz, same thing. I really miss my scanner. I've been playing around with like people that are streaming scanners on YouTube Live, and that kind of works. And you can use the screeners, and once you find the ones that are hot for the day, just watch them. There's lots of ways to do it, but none of it beats having my scanner that I could customize in the corner scanning all the time. So still really bummed about that. Hoping that E-Trade brings that back. Even like the scanner on CMEG, I was playing with the scanner on CMEG. And again, just like E-Trade Pro, it's a lot of preset stuff. You can't do with it what I want to do with it. So anyway, let's see. What else? Mara was the one that I was watching the closest because it had the most volume. Like of all the stocks that were up, it's the one that I could see day traders were watching and getting into the most. But it was really choppy action, pretty much just consolidating sideways here. And this is where I made my little $20 break-even trade. I thought maybe because it had 1, 2, 3 on the 5-minute chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, over and over and over again, it was topping out right in that same area, right in here. So maybe a little bit higher than that. So I was thinking going into the afternoon with that there, and with the volume being high, and just thinking that with it's a Bitcoin play is what it is, and Bitcoin was pushing 21,000 today, which is insanity. So it was up on that, just kind of like a speculative following Bitcoin type of play because they have a bunch of Bitcoin miners. So anyway, with all the tops there, I thought if this thing could get back up there in the afternoon with volume, and knowing that a lot of traders are watching it, and possibly after yesterday maybe shorting it, it could maybe get a squeeze and go higher. So I was kind of watching that, and then I had kind of like I don't know why this thing just doesn't work half the time, but I had kind of a thing going like that where I thought with that same kind of pattern, a little bit of a flag type of situation there. So I thought after it crossed back above VWAP, got through the 50, and got up here and broke that line. That's where I went long. And I was thinking, like, I'll get in right here at the trend line break, and then if it can bust through that level, it will be soaring. I figured if it got past that, it'd really get shorts on the run. Anyway, obviously that didn't work out. It just did what it had done all day and topped out there. So when it ran into resistance, I just bailed on it, stopped out on it. Does it give you those in the pre-market or during after hours? There are pre-market screeners, but I haven't been watching them. Honestly, pre-market, I've just been looking on YouTube and looking at like Ross with Warrior Trading. He streams his what's it called, the one that everybody uses, Trade Ideas. He's got his Trade Ideas gap up scanner running live on there, and so does a lot of other people. So I've just been popping on YouTube, seeing the ones that are hot, and then I start watching them. And then throughout the day, I just check screeners. But today I was in and out all day, more out than in my office all day. But EOLS making a move. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, so that's Mara. Mara, again, just to cover that real quick. You got the same type of stuff. Again, this one was not as clean of a pennant or consolidation because it kind of went into after hours and kind of sold off. But then as Bitcoin jumped, it kind of followed it up. So that's more what happened there. But you could look at overall and see a big flag kind of possibly forming there. I'm not going to rule out the possibility if Bitcoin keeps going and this just keeps chopping and consolidating here, that it could end up going higher tomorrow. So we'll see what Bitcoin has to say about that. 87 million shares almost traded, so probably the hottest stock. Let's see, MDXG I was going to look at. Wow, that thing's really sold off. I was actually going to short that. Now, in my CMEG account, I was looking to short this at the VWAP break late in the day, but then I looked at the chart and saw there was quite a bit of what I thought would be support here. Yeah, and maybe it still will be. I mean, it is in that same range at the moment, but didn't look like there was as much meat on the bone. Why is this thing going all the way to 735? I feel like maybe news or something came out on this. They raised the price target to $31 a share, which, you know, it's only one analyst at Point Capital, but still, it's a pretty high price target, and that's kind of what got it moving, I think. Yeah, I thought it would come back down, but I didn't think it would go from 820 or so to 735 here within a few minutes. Definitely wishing I had shorted that in hindsight. No setup though. Let's look at EOLS. And just to finish the thought on this was another one that was just kind of a failed thing. You see the same pattern right here that we were just talking about, that I talk about every day, basically. Again, you see the big flagpole, and then you could say that this was a little bit of consolidation. The pennant, as it got tighter and tighter, it breaks out, boom, rips up. So again, we got the same pattern over and over. And then when that failed as big as it did, it was not much of anything to watch, because if I see a move go up that much and then it gives it all back, basically, then I start looking away. Not near as excited about it, and it didn't have as much volume. It was under 10 million shares at that time. EQOS I was watching. This was another one. Didn't really have a good setup on it other than this morning early, and I didn't see that. But again, you know, you would have seen the same thing. It goes up. I know I talk about this every day, but it really is, in my opinion, the most valuable thing. You can see it on the 5-minute chart. You can see it kind of on the 1-minute chart as it goes up, and then it kind of starts consolidating. You got to get a little bit zoomed out to kind of see it. And then as it breaks out, you start seeing that rip up. This move here was crazy. I did watch this, but at that point, like, what's going on there? It's way below VWAP, the 200, the 50, and just for whatever reason rips up $2 a share and then comes basically all the way back down. So not a ton of setups on that. EOLS, Dave said. We'll check that out. Look at that. That is crazy. Interesting. What's going on with that? We got some kind of news. Something's definitely going on with that, I would say. It looks like an earnings type of move whenever you get a big swing down, big swing up. So something's going on with that. On the daily chart, let's check that out. So kind of coming into an area of possible resistance there. Zoom out a little more. So we got a gap to fill up to that level, but it's already filled it. We've talked about gap fills before, I know, but that's definitely a thing too. You got this big gap here, and what do you know? It comes up and it tops right there at the exact same level and fills that gap on this little move here. So keep that in mind. It's a little bit harder to really trade that. You'd have to, I don't know, be foreseeing that probably in this area when it breaks out on the daily, but I tend to trade intraday. I'm not as good at swing trading. So the gap's not as important to me, but some people that are into the swing trading definitely. Let's see. Anybody know why EOLS is doing this? Let's see if I'm curious about it. Good old reliable StockTwits. See if somebody's talking about it on there. This won't make a very good live video if I'm sitting here looking at StockTwits, but no news yet. No news yet. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. Something's got to be expected, or they're thinking some kind of news is coming out with it. I don't know. All I know is that according to StockTwits, it's going to the moon. Just like all stocks on StockTwits are going to the moon. WNW. StockTwits. Lawsuit, Dave says. Okay. WNW, okay. It's a higher priced one. That's why I didn't see it, but wow. That's crazy. I've got my screeners, I think, capped at like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. So by the time I was looking at it this afternoon, it would have been priced out of my screeners. So I didn't even see it, but wow, that is insane. What's the news on that? It doubles in its public. Oh, it's an IPO, okay. IPO. That is insane. 630%. Wow. Wunong Net Technology. I mean, I kind of want to go short it right now, but that would be quite dangerous on a gigantic green day, first day IPO, or second. Is it second day IPO? I guess it would be. It looks like second day. Yeah. So maybe a little less dangerous because it's second day, but still, man, kind of want to short it up here at 88 bucks. But this, let's see, the spread is almost $2 a share spread. That makes it even more dangerous. Should have shorted it at 100. If I'd have gone over there and listened to you whenever I saw that you typed that, I could have probably shorted that at 100 in my CMEG account. By the way, StockTwits is actually good about finding news, I've found. You definitely don't want to trust it. Because what StockTwits really is, most of it is just a ton of bag holders trying to feel better about the bag that they're holding. So they're telling everybody it's going to the moon and trying to hype up whatever it is that they're holding the bag on. That's probably what like 85% of StockTwits is. But what it's good for is the news. Like if I can't find news on something and I don't see it real quick, I will jump over on StockTwits and just scroll down, and you can usually pretty quickly see people talking about what the news is. So it's good for that. They post the news super fast. Different people do on StockTwits. So that's all it's really good for. But I do use it for news here and there if I can't find it. The market this slow, I don't know. It's had some action, but it does feel slower from like a day trading perspective than some of the weeks that we've seen this year. Maybe because the overall markets are getting toppy. They're getting towards their all-time highs. Like the S&P. This is the S&P 500. Another little tidbit of information that I do anyway. I've always got a window that I dedicate to SPY ETF because it's a pretty good gauge of the markets. You can see them up here in the corner of your account too with E-Trade and probably other brokers. You can kind of monitor it, but I like dedicating a window to SPY because 3 out of 4 stocks roughly follow the market. So I think it's worth having a window for that, because if I see a couple of different stocks selling off, I'll just check over at SPY, and a lot of times there's a sell-off happening that's dragging things down. Same thing with things going up. If I see things that are overall going up, I'll check over here, and a lot of times it's because the markets overall are ripping. I didn't really see what the news was on this move, but I'm betting it has to do with stimulus, since that's what it's constantly all over the news right now, is if there's going to be stimulus happening. TLGT had a few good patterns today. Okay, I'll check that out as well. Man, that WNW, that's a crazy move. Looking at the 1 minute, it's kind of resting on the 50 moving average right there. Came down and kind of found some support there. At the same area it found support earlier. But I gotta feel like that thing's coming down. I remember when JMIA was a crazy IPO that I traded a couple of times to the short side, but that was back in the day. But seems like IPOs have been kind of coming around like they were for a while there. They were really hot, and then they kind of cooled off, and now again it seems like they're starting to heat up. And that's an insane move from whatever it IPO'd at. I guess it IPO'd at $5. Wow. $5 to 100 and what's the high there? Um, 101.77. No, that's not it. Or are you not giving me? I can't get on it there. 105 something. 105.76 after hours. So $5 to 105.76. $100 gain since yesterday's IPO. Insane. Okay. What else? AEMD, did we look at that? That was another one. Traded almost 100 million shares, 92.7 million shares as of now. But that was the one that Ross was geared up on this morning. But by the time anybody was really looking at it, it had gone all the way up, over doubled, and then was starting to dip down. So if you would have taken a high of day trade on that, trying to get the breakout past the pre-market high. It ended up not going much higher. Then all it was a short all day. So nothing exciting about that unless you're more into short selling. Would have been a beautiful shorting into that pre-market high. And then what was the one that you talked about? TLGT. Okay, we got a little bit lower price stock, kind of choppy, but had a nice rip right there from 95 cents or so to a high of what, $1.11? Yeah, $1.11. So it's pretty good move percentage wise. It's kind of lost a lot of its mojo throughout the day. Could be a swing type of trade. I'm not much of a swing trader, but whenever you see them coming down and then starting to curl, sometimes just like NXTD, you end up seeing it continue the curl up. But again, I'm not very good at swing trading, and when I do it, typically I don't make money on it. So what I don't like about this, for me, it did kind of follow a trend line there. I don't love that it would have been kind of coming up on some resistance, and that it's pretty choppy and underneath VWAP a lot of the day. So if I was looking at it, I might have taken a trade here, which would not have worked out. I would have ended up getting stopped out probably. But it did kind of break this flat. This stupid tool, I swear. You did kind of have a flat top situation going on there. So it did break that and VWAP, which could have been strong. Could have been thinking it might go test the high of day, but would have probably ended up getting stopped out. Let's see, what else? Let's see what Mara is doing. I already closed out of my CMEG, but I was going to look back and see what I canceled my short on. Not Mara. Mara I was looking to short too on the break of VWAP, but it hasn't really dropped. And then MDXG, that was the one. I actually had a short in on that, and I canceled it. I was going to check what price I had it at, but it was up in here because I kind of saw it curling, and then it looked like it was coming to that same resistance, and I had this guideline drawn where if it broke that, I was going to stop out, and I was shorting it. I want to say right up in here in this 850 area. I'm pretty sure that's where my short was that I canceled, and that would look pretty sweet right now, because it was either 500 or 1,000 shares in my CMEG account. That would be beautiful right now, up almost $1 a share. Gotta love that. What was the other one you said was moving? MGNX. That thing was crazy a couple days ago. Or no, that was just a few minutes ago because I'm on the 5 minute. Wow. 6 minutes ago. FDA approval for patients with pre-treated metastatic. I can't pronounce any of these medical terms. HER2 positive breast cancer. So it's a breast cancer play with FDA approval. Interesting that it's come down that much, even though, I mean, it's still up 17%, but I'm surprised it came all the way back down that quickly on that news. 11 minutes ago, it looks like, was the first news, so I wonder if people have had a chance already to digest the trial data. Dummies like me would have probably bought that and thought, oh, it's great, and then the trial data or whatever comes out. I've made that mistake in the past with the pharmaceutical plays. I'm not smart enough to understand all the trial data, so I end up thinking, oh, it's great, and I buy it, and then biotechs love to tank. Sometimes on good news. There's been plenty of times that I've bought biotechs on good news that were up, and then they drop below the level they were at before the good trial data, the good FDA approval, whatever. And I'm like, what sense does this make? How is it not at least going up a little bit? Some of my best bag holding experiences came from biotechs. Power E-Trade have VWAP? I think it does. That's a good question. Let's just figure that out. I think it does. This is gonna, if I log into this, it's probably gonna log me out of my thing over there though. So maybe I don't want to do that. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. I'll put it in the comments, but I think it does. I just don't really love their charting. I love the E-Trade Pro charting for whatever reason. Even when I'm trading my CMEG account, I'm looking at charts on the Pro. It's just kind of what you're used to. That's what I think a lot of trading is. Like, I'm used to this. I'm used to these charts, the classic charts. I'm used to the level 2. I'm used to where the scanner was, and I missed that a lot because I was just so used to it. It's hard to break habits and do different things, and maybe Power E-Trade's not that bad if I gave it a shot. I just haven't used it enough. Thanks for the likes, everybody who liked this already, by the way. Got 5 likes. That's pretty cool. I'm going to, you know what else StockTwits is good for? Me spamming them with links, because there is actually a lot of new traders on StockTwits. Like I said, there's a ton of bag holders and people, so I do post my links to my videos here and there on StockTwits just because there's so many new traders over there that could actually benefit from, not that I'm great at trading by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of new traders over on StockTwits that could benefit from some type of knowledge just to get started. TLRY still on fire on StockTwits, by the way. Why is that on fire? It hasn't hit any of my scanners. StockTwits is not good for very many things, and it can be very dangerous for the new traders, and that's why, I don't know. I think StockTwits is dangerous basically for new traders because people get on there and they start believing that every stock is going to the moon, because like literally every stock on StockTwits is like, it's going to the moon, it's going to the moon. $20 price targets on a $1 stock. It's just, could it happen? Yeah, but the odds are not in your favor. And these people that don't know anything are buying it, and I feel bad for them because I used to be somebody that knew nothing, and I believed some of those people on StockTwits when I was bag holding, and I would hold the bag way longer and magnify my loss because all these people that knew something on StockTwits were feeding me full of a bunch of hopium. That's the term I was looking for. StockTwits is all about the hopium. Anyway, TLRY. Let's see. It's breaking out past that resistance on the daily. It's got news 15 minutes ago, but that's combining in a major marijuana merger. So it's a marijuana play. That would be why it's been hot lately. And it looks like, for one thing, it did do the pattern that I love so much. So that's cool. Way to go, TLRY. Got this nice big pull there. My tool to draw works like half the time on E-Trade when I'm clicking on it. You have to click just the right spot for it to work. But anyway, yeah. And then you got your little pennant, and then it breaks out. And then you got kind of a little same pennant consolidation just on a smaller level, and then it breaks out. And then it comes down a little deeper, but it forms more of a flag at that point. So you got to kind of watch between flags and pennants. And the flag I don't like as much, but it still works a lot of the time, and just not as clean to me as the when you get the really tight consolidation at the point and then it breaks out. It just is so much cleaner to me. But the flags work a lot of the time too. This one would have worked as almost a dip by, because it would have been to the bottom of the flag, and then it would have also been at support there before it rocketed up. But that was right there at the beginning of pre-market for E-Trade and a lot of brokers anyway. So I'm sure I would have never caught that move unless I was watching it from yesterday. And even then, it's like no, it's a 5-minute candle. So I guess you might have got in it at $10 or something. But such a fast move, hard to really even have a trade on it. Now it's kind of back down to consolidating, just long term. It's trying to hold its gains and consolidating. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll keep going tomorrow. Get back up to 1050. Let's get back over here to the chat, see what you guys are saying. Power E-Trade have VWAP. Yeah, we talked about that. I'm not really sure. Still recommend E-Trade Pro without the scanner. Definitely less than I did before. I think E-Trade Pro's all right. It depends on your strategy. It's not very good, honestly, for what I do, because my bread and butter, what I like to do is scalping, and it does work for that, but they don't have the best executions. First of all, there are platforms with better executions. There are platforms that are faster, like CMEG's faster, better executions. But the thing that's good about Pro is that it's okay. Like if you look at them and Schwab and who else is the bigger brokers? TD Ameritrade, like a lot of those big brokers that have zero commissions, I think they're decent to learn on, because as a new trader, it depends on where your skill level is. As a new trader, you're not going to get eaten up with the commissions. The PDT harnesses you, which sucks, but also it's kind of good for new traders. So you can make both those arguments. And the platform's pretty good. Like, I like E-Trade's platform, their charting, I like their level 2, all that. The downsides to it would be there is no scanner now anyway, and it's a little bit glitchy. I don't have glitches with the CMEG Sterling platform hardly ever, and I have glitches on the E-Trade Pro platform here and there. It's not like a daily thing, but definitely more often than CMEG. And what I mean by that is there's times where I'm like trying to open the platform and it's really slow to open. There's times where I'm trying to place an order and I'll actually place the order and it's just sitting there like frozen, but not really placing the order. The order doesn't go through. Stuff like that is just annoying. Or typing the ticker up here in the corner and it doesn't change the screens. It just goes back to the last ticker or sits on the same ticker that you're on, and you have to type it in again. Just a lot of little quirky things that are annoying about a platform. So I would say that it's decent, and it probably compares somewhat to the other platforms depending on your style of trading and level of experience. But it's just kind of wavering to where I would recommend it less. Because if you're gonna go with one of the zero commission brokers and you're a newer trader, you're kind of like right there trying to decide between a bunch of brokers that are kind of in the same ballpark. So why go with one that just got rid of their scanner and has kind of a glitchy platform and all that? I don't know. I can't say that I love it like I did when I started. And the better you get, and the more if you're a scalper like me and you're into like hot keys or hot buttons, like on CMEG, I like the hot buttons, and I can get in and out very quick. Not as quick on E-Trade. So the better you get and the faster you get and the more you're into scalping and stuff, the more you're going to notice things like that. Whereas as a beginning trader, you don't notice it near as much. It's plenty fast for how quick your mind is moving. Let's see. Things I do like about E-Trade, and this could be other brokers too, I don't really know, but I have like a debit card that's linked to this small trading account, which is kind of nice. you can do a limited margin IRA. So you can trade with an IRA, which is a tax-free trading account. So that's a bonus, and you can use limited margin with them. So what that means is you don't have to wait for your funds to settle. You can trade with the funds like the next day, just like you would any other margin account. So that's kind of nice in your IRA. You just can't pull money out because then you'll get taxed on it then. But I have not tried Lightspeed. That is one that's on my list to maybe try. I'm moving a bunch of money into my, not a bunch of money, but a decent amount of money I needed to move. So I'm putting it in an E-Trade IRA, that limited margin IRA. And then from there, when that money hits there, I may move it to Lightspeed or somewhere else. I haven't decided yet. I'm really kind of weighing my options and been reading about brokers and trying to decide if there's a broker that I think is enough better that it's worth opening an account and moving money over there. Let's see, what else do we got? The free Ninja Charting is great. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, I used Ninja Charting when I first started out, but I knew absolutely nothing at the time, so it was way over my head. But like when I think about their charting did seem like it was pretty good. Looking back on it now, I just didn't know anything at all, so it was like looking at another language. It's been a couple of years ago, but I remember that. Let's see. Just started trading. I'm learning how to use different tools. Yes, it's such a. Do I plan to show my trades? Honestly, probably. I want to start trading live. I struggle. I'm in and out of the office all the time because I have to do other things to make money. So like trading to me is just a hobby because I'm not good enough at it yet to make a full-time living. And like I've talked about in other videos, I scaled my money out, and now I'm moving some money back into that IRA, and from there I may transfer some to different accounts, scale up a little bit, but I'm not confident enough to trade with huge position size like I used to, because after so many big multi-$1,000 losses, it gets pretty old and you get kind of beaten down. So I've been trying to build my confidence with really small position size and small trades. So that's part of why I don't show my trades very much, is because who cares about 100 share positions here and there, 200 shares, making $20, making $100. I don't know. I guess I could, but and also I'm not great at trading, so I focus. I'm like in the zone trying to scalp here and there. So then if I'm streaming and I'm worried about that, it just adds a lot of stress. I don't know. I might. I don't know. I guess the answer is I might. I've been thinking about like trading live, kind of like Ross does. But the difference is he's awesome at it. Ross is kind of my idol in a way, because he does the same strategies and same type of stuff that I do, but on a way bigger level, and he's actually great at it. So watching him live, it kind of makes me want to do that, but at the same time, watching me make $50 is like nothing, or lose $50 or whatever, compared to watching him make or lose 30 grand, 50 grand in a day. It's just way more exciting. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing it. If people want to see it, I guess I could start doing it. To get back to Trevor, there's so much to learn with day trading. And like I've talked about, I don't pretend like I'm a great trader. I'm still learning too, and I've been doing it for like 4 years or something like that, maybe 5 now. I'd have to go back and look. Somewhere in the 4 to 5 year range. And I still feel like a newbie half the time. There's plenty of times where I take a trade and lose on it and then sit there and scratch my head like, what am I doing? Am I a new trader? Why did I do that? Like I remember shorting KODK one day when it was a big runner, and I shorted that, got stopped out for a good sized loss, and then was sitting there wondering what am I doing? Like, I'm shorting a stock that has gone up to $60 from like $5 in a day or two. It's just stupid to short that, especially right there at open. So anyway, there's just a lot to learn with trading to get comfortable and to know what you're doing, and that's why I've been so focused on this pattern that I talk about every day, is because I feel like with that I'm gaining confidence to where maybe I'll start scaling up a little bit, maybe start trading live, something like that, because it's starting to give me confidence to be able to see patterns like the bull pennant and the bull flag develop on different time periods on different stocks every day. It's just kind of like an eye-opening thing. And I don't know. I didn't really see it before. Like, I'd see it here and there, but really it's just been the last month or two that I've really started being able to pick it out for whatever reason and recognize it throughout the day. I'm not in a Discord group, but several people have told me that I should do that. So I was in a chat room for a minute. Too many people. Yeah, I don't know if I thought somebody, a couple different people actually have told me that I should start a Discord group, which apparently I'm out of the times because I don't even know really what that is. But I guess it's like a free chat room that you can kind of be in. So maybe I will do that. If enough people want a Discord group, I definitely could do that. And I've been looking into it. I'm just busy lately. Kind of working on the possibility of starting a company with my brother, and then I've been doing media stuff with him, editing and doing some work for his media company, and then doing the YouTube videos. I have 2 different channels, and then trading, and it's a lot. I'm busy. I probably work way too much. Work, it's not like going to a job, but at the same time, I'm in this office or doing something work related. So many hours. Let's see. Would anybody be interested in Discord group or in me trading live or anything like that? I could do those things. It's just, it's scary to put yourself out there because it's enough pressure as it is. As you guys know, as if you're in this chat room or watching this, then you're probably not Ross Cameron. So you know what kind of pressure and how difficult it is to consistently make money. So it's really nerve-wracking just trading as it is and trying to make money because you want to make money and not lose money. And then if you add the level of like people looking over your shoulder, it's pretty scary to think like, hey, not only am I worried about losing money, but I'm also worried about looking like an idiot and losing money at the same time. Let's pop back over to that. I want to see where that ended up. So it's back up. WNW. I'm blown away by this. This is definitely going to be on my radar. I wonder if they even have shares to short at CMEG. It is a choppy market. Mark would watch me trade. Cool. Live trading's better. Okay. How did you do today? Yeah, recaps. I'm glad that you appreciate it. I appreciate it too. I do this anyway. So like Paul, one of my subscribers, actually sent me an email and told me I should do a recap every day. And I actually do this anyway. So it made sense to stream it on YouTube because I go back at the end of the day every day anyway. And I just trying to get better as a trader. I'll go through the different screeners, look at the top stocks, and I'll go back through and look at them on different time frames, and sometimes throw up different indicators just to try to see what works. You know, always looking for like an edge so I can be a consistent, good trader. So I do it anyway. I like to kind of see what was moving and did high up day breakouts work, or the bull pennants. Am I seeing that like I was? Are stocks respecting the 50 moving average on the 1 minute or the 5 minute? I mean, there's just so many different aspects that you can look at, and it's all about trying to see that edge, trying to see what the stock reacts to, where the edge is, and then make that consistent. So I enjoy it doing it anyway, so might as well stream it live with all of you and have a little bit of commentary and chat about it. How did you do, Jay Esco? I'm kind of interested to see where you guys, like, if anybody wants to put it out there, where my subscribers are at, like the people that watch my videos. Do you guys do more paper trading? Do you trade real money accounts? If you trade real money accounts, like what type of trader are you, or are you trying to be? Do you trade options or just securities, stocks, all that kind of stuff? Like what do you guys do? Do you scalp? Do you swing trade? If anybody wants to share anything like that, I'm always interested to see like what other people do. Like I know Dave that's in here a lot of the time. He has been doing options a lot more, which kind of piqued my interest because I've never done options. So I've kind of been in my free time reading about options, watching YouTube videos about options, and kind of dabbling in that idea. Up 650, that's great. Of course, it depends on, if you traded 100 times at $6 commissions, then I guess it's not great, but then you just need a different broker. So up 650 is awesome though. Even if you did get eaten up by commissions in that situation, you still made money. Like you can still feel good about that. You're still on the right side of your trades. Just still learning. I think you're like always learning, but stuff just starts to click at some point more than, and it's taken me years, and I get frustrated about that, but it is what it is. Still 150 is good. Still 150 more than you had yesterday. Could just be a little bit of over trading. I've definitely done that a lot. I remember when I first started trading, I traded with E-Trade. Then I scaled up and put more money in because, when you're a new trader, you don't really know what you don't know. So you think that you're doing something. And I remember, putting in enough money that I was over PDT. Was trading with like $40,000 or $45,000 or something at one point. And just like when I put in enough money to be over the PDT and the handcuffs came off, I was over trading like crazy. And at that time, E-Trade was not commission free, so I was paying a lot in commissions. I forget how many thousands of dollars that year I paid in commissions alone, but it was a lot. And then CMEG, CMEG, same thing. When I opened my account, first opened my account at CMEG, I overtraded over there. It's really hard to not overtrade when you go from like being under the PDT to not having those handcuffs. Let's see. I've been swing trading with no real profit or loss to speak of. Okay. A lot of my friends in my group chat, we have like a chat on our phones that I got all my friends into trading, which I kind of felt bad about for a while because most new traders lose money and they had lost money, but I think most of them have gotten back to where they're doing pretty good now, or around break even basically. And most of them swing traders. Can't speak. So I think that people kind of naturally gravitate to that, especially because they all work regular jobs. So it's hard to be a scalper if you're working a regular job. Okay, so red 25. Yeah, the good thing about trading small, like I do right now, is that it's stress free. And like I've got one of my friends that is a pretty new trader, and he trades with big size, or not really, not big size, but pretty good size. Definitely 10,000 share or $10,000, $20,000 positions, similar to what I used to do. And he's had similar experience to what I did, where you get big losses and big bag holding experiences and all that. But that's the benefit of taking my money out and just getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to just keep throwing a bunch of money away. It makes no sense until I can prove that I know what I'm doing. I got to stop doing that. So I took my money out. The good thing about that is that it's still real money. So it makes it real, and it's actually, you get some of the emotions and the excitement from trading versus paper trading. But if I have a red day, it's like, a $50 red day or $100 red day. So it's not the end of the world. It's not a $2,000 red day or a $3,000 red day or something where I'm like, oh man, I just lost a ton of money, where you really feel it and you kind of question whether you should keep trading or not. So there's a lot to be said about that peace of mind. In terms of execution speed, I found TD is better than E-Trade. I would probably agree, although I don't have a TD Ameritrade account. I can't, the lag, when I talk, the lag is always way behind. Not way behind, but it lags. Even on the shortest amount of lag, it still lags. So by the time you guys hear it, I almost feel like I can just type faster to answer questions. But anyway, I don't have a TD account. But from what people have said and other people that have reviewed it, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and Ross's videos on it. He's got a lot of reviews of brokers on his website. So yeah, from what I understand, they're faster. The reality of why I have an E-Trade account is because it's just what I picked. Like I remember when I first started trading years and years ago, and I wanted to start trading. Like I got hooked. Raise your hand if you got hooked by Tim Sykes. Anybody get hooked by Tim Sykes? I found him on YouTube, and that's what got me into it. I've flipped a house before. I've built affiliate marketing websites and tried to do affiliate marketing, and like little niche blog post websites, things like that. So I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different things to make money. And I found Tim Sykes on YouTube and was like, oh man, that's it. It never occurred to me that I could possibly trade the stock market. And I saw that and I'm like, man, I was hooked instantly from Tim Sykes's hype videos. I just knew that, like, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to sit there at my computer at home and click buttons and make money. That just makes all the sense in the world to me, because I can start a small business, or like right now, me and my brother, like I said, we're in the conception stage of this business that we're considering starting, and so much goes into that you know, the capital and the money you got to put into it, and all the research, literature, and just, I mean, all kinds of stuff goes into it. Getting a space and renting a space, and then the computers and the credit card machines, and just there's just so much that goes into a business. And then I looked at trading. I thought about all those things, and then I looked at trading. And I also have been very close to buying a business several times with a friend of mine. We've traveled all over to several businesses in other states and got sat down with them and gone through the process of looking at them to possibly buy them. And none of them panned out, because a lot of people like to lie about how much they're actually making in their business. But anyway, it's a different story. So I thought about all that kind of stuff, and then I see this thing with Tim Sykes, and I'm like, man, that is so much better. I can just forget about all that, just learn how to trade, click buttons, and make money. So that's kind of how I ended up getting into trading. And then it just became, what broker do I use? Because like when you're first starting out, it's hard to figure that out. Like you're just scratching your head, what broker's better than the next? And then I watched some video about, and CMEG, if it was a thing, it wasn't a big thing. I didn't see anything about CMEG. I was just seeing TD Ameritrade and E-Trade and Charles Schwab, and some of these big companies is what everybody raising the hand to the Tim Sykes. Anyway, so I saw some video talking about how it doesn't really matter, like when you're starting out, just pick a broker and go with it. So that's what I just picked E-Trade. That's what it comes down to. I was like, E-Trade, I keep seeing people talking about it. It's a big broker. It's a reputable broker. I'm going to go with that. And I think at that point, I didn't even know about the PDT or any of that. I was just like, I'm going to start trading. Let's open an account and start trading. So I started doing TD or E-Trade, and I've just been with them this whole time that I'm just so used to their platform and used to their charts and all that stuff that you just get comfortable with it, and then it's hard to switch. So if I was starting today, I would probably be doing TD Ameritrade. I've seen a lot of people talking about how that have used both, that like Thinkorswim better and like TD Ameritrade better for day trading. So if I was doing it over, I'd probably go with them. But it is what it is. Then you get to that point like I'm at right now, where it's like I've got this account, I've got CMEG account, and I've thought about starting all these other accounts, but they take time, they take money. You got to learn the platform, learn a lot of new stuff. So it becomes easier to just keep doing what you know. Unless you can see like a really big added benefit to why you would switch. It's hard to make that switch. This thing here is kind of doing it could be, it kind of popped way up and then it's somewhat consolidating here. So it's interesting. I have to see where this goes. I would say, hey, there's no way this thing's going to go back up over 100, but I would have said yesterday that it wasn't going to go from $5 to $105 in 2 days too. So, yeah, who knows? Ross is a big turning point for me. Ross was a big turning point for me because, like, Tim Sykes, and I was a member of Tim Sykes's chat room and all that stuff. But his videos are the same thing over and over again, and a lot of them are just him talking about studying. Like he just all he's talking about is studying, which is because it makes him money, and I totally get that. I respect the hustle and what he does, and he got tons of people into day trading, so good for him. But and I can't say I didn't learn anything over there, because in the chat room I would find stocks that people would post, and I would look at them. And at the time I didn't even know about scanners or anything. I didn't even have a scanner on my E-Trade platform in the corner. So I would just find what stocks people were talking about, and when you're new, you don't even know how to find stocks, which is why I posted my very first YouTube video on this channel was about setting up the platform, because I remember being in that position where I'm like, you start with a blank platform, and at that time, which was years ago, it's a lot more saturated now than it was then. I wish I'd have started this channel back then, but at that time there wasn't near as many YouTube videos. You couldn't find them as easily about like setting up your platform and then how to find stocks to trade and all those basic things that you need to know when you start out. So that's why I posted my very first video like, hey, I'm going to post a video about how to set up your E-Trade platform and get it to where it's somewhat of a usable platform, and how to use your scanner, how to toggle your scanner, all that kind of stuff that traders need to know when they first start. But then the next turning point for me was, after having years of losses, was finding Ross's videos. And what I love about Ross is that he trades live, so you can't say that he's not doing, people that say that he's fake and stuff makes no sense to me, because a lot of days you can watch him actually trade live on YouTube and make the crazy money that he makes, and sometimes lose the money that he loses. But that was a big turning point for me, because it's a big thing to go from getting to that point where you actually start seeing things develop in real time, and that's where I'm at now, where I'm seeing patterns develop in real time, whereas for the last several years it was more like after the fact I can kind of see what was going on with the stock, but in the moment I couldn't figure out what was happening at all. So that was a big turning point for me, was with Ross, and I probably watched, I don't even know, like 1,000 hours of his videos, live trading videos and stuff, just trying to see like, what was it about that spot that made him buy? What was it about that spot that made him get out? And that started to click with me. So now I've started kind of seeing the same things. And that's, I don't know, it's a big turning point. Same thing with Nate with Investors Underground as far as the short side of things. He's really good at shorting, and I've paid a lot of attention to him to kind of learn the short side of things. And then now that I'm finally getting to that point where I can kind of see like, oh, I see why he shorted at that point. I see why he covered at this point. I don't know. It's just a big step that everybody has to get to start actually seeing things in real time. That's a big step, seeing it develop in real time. And that's why a lot of my videos lately have been focused on that same pattern, because I feel like that pattern repeats all the time in the market, and it has for years. And the more I put it out there, it actually doesn't hurt me. It would help me. Like, the more traders that will see these bull pennants or that type of pattern developing where it gets a tighter and tighter consolidation and then pops up, the more people that see that, the more people that are going to jump on it, and the more it's going to take off. So it's actually great to get the word of that out to as many traders as possible, because it's good for the stock, and it's good because people can start looking for that specific pattern and trying to see it on different time frames every day. And to me, that's the easiest one to spot, and you can see it. You got to wait till it kind of develops as it gets, like just on this stock that we're looking at now. You can't see it as good from a zoomed in level, but then if you kind of zoom out a bit, you can see that it's gone from $12 all the way up to 60, and then it kind of consolidated back at that 36 level there, and then that's where it started to pop up. So you could have gone long when it popped up out of that little bit of consolidation right there. Kind of comes to a point, and then if it breaks down, okay, you want to get out of there. If it breaks up, that's where you want to go long. But then once you go long, you got to really be paying attention that right there at that level, is it getting, is it finding resistance? Then you got to look at your other charts and find where the resistance levels are on longer time frames, to know where to get out, what you're looking at, where could it possibly stop, all the different factors that have to line up. But then once all that stuff lines up and you see the pattern, then you go long, and then you look to make sure that at those resistance levels, is it looking like on the level 2, which is why level 2 is important, is it looking like it's got people loading up on the ask, or shorts really piling on? Is it probably going to get toppy there, and then you bail out before it drops down, or you take partial profit, whatever. That's probably the best way to do it. Take a little bit off and then kind of ride the rest up. But I'm not really that great at that yet. I'm still working on the right amount of taking profit, and the right kind of trying to use trailing stops and things like that. Investors Domain channel. Well, Tim Sykes got me into. You're bringing a more realistic feel to it, so thank you again. Tim Sykes 30-day boot camp is fair and lovely. I also learn a lot from Humble Trader videos. Humble Trader, that one I know. I like Humble Trader. I will check out Investors Domain. Hi, Wolf. Probably going to have to get off here before long. Got lots of other stuff to do. Still trying to finish that project I've been working on for like a week. And I've been on here for over an hour blabbing my head off about nothingness. So anyway, yeah, I like the idea of, when I started this channel, I liked the idea of not being a guru. Like, there's so many people on YouTube, and there's tons of them that are like Tim Sykes or Ross, or like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just like, they're actual trading gurus. They're making tons of money. They got their classes and their courses all set up to where they're making millions off of their students and teaching and all that. And so, I don't know, I liked the idea of starting a YouTube channel that was just like, hey, I'm a mediocre trader that doesn't have a course, at least not yet. I have thought about making a cheap course for super beginner day traders, but yeah, I'm just like a regular dude that's just struggling to break even this year, or have a little bit of profit on the year, and then hopefully next year take that to the next level of being, full-time day trader would be awesome. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about that I can think of. I was just kind of blabbing about my story there, and Tim Sykes and all that. And Tim Sykes does... my feeling about Tim Sykes is that you just outgrow him. That's what I think. And I think that happens with his own students. I mean, he's obviously, and I'm not talking bad about him. He's the reason that I got into day trading. So I'm very thankful to him, because I do love it. But I think people outgrow him at some point, and I think that his own millionaire students outgrow him at some point, because if you look at a lot of his millionaire students, several of them are also members of like Investors Underground and other places, and they kind of almost disassociate from Tim a little bit as they get bigger. It just kind of happens. Like Tim's forte and what he's great at is getting people into day trading. That's what he's great at. He's got tons of hype and energy and all that, and he gets people in. And then you kind of go to the chat room and you learn. As you're learning, you're watching his videos and stuff, and you do learn a bunch of stuff from him. But then for me anyway, it felt like I got to a place where I plateaued, where like I've seen the same dip buy video a million times, and the same video about how buying OTCs used to work but doesn't really anymore. All the same stuff that he talks about, in all his videos. And then in the chat room, there wasn't a lot of people that were making much money. It was a lot of people like me that are finding something on a scanner and throwing it out there, but you don't really know what you're doing. You don't know the setups. So you could chat and talk to people, and that was helpful. But you just kind of, to me, get to a point where you outgrow Tim Sykes, and then you go to somebody like Ross or somebody that's a great swing trader. You kind of find what you like and what you're into, and then I feel like you kind of move on. If you're like a short seller, I think Investors Underground's pretty great for shorting. Like Nate over there's great at that. Tim Grittani, like a lot of the people that are Tim Sykes millionaires actually made their money shorting. So Tim talks about dip buys, but most of his millionaire students are short sellers and have made money short selling, with the exception of I think Roland Wolf made his money on the long side. He's inspirational, by the way. I follow Roland, and I've got a lot of respect for him because he went from under the PDT to over the PDT with overnight holds and longs, basically, and that's very difficult to do. What about taking Ross classes? Yeah, if I was gonna take a class, this is just me, but if it was me and I was gonna take a class, it would be Ross's class. I just don't think that you necessarily need to, honestly. Ross is to the point where he almost puts out, people probably don't realize it because if you're a new trader, you don't really know what you're looking at. But to somebody that's been doing it for a few years, like when I look at it, you can almost get everything for free from Ross without even paying for his class. So Ross is my style of trading too, so that's another reason why if I was picking somebody and I was gonna pay for a class, it probably would be Ross's, because I think that he's very transparent. I think that he seems like a good guy and actually is genuine in the stuff that he teaches. I like his style and it matches up well with mine. So yeah, if I was going to pay for a class, it would probably be Ross's. My only argument against paying for his class would be that you can get basically everything for free on YouTube from his YouTube channel. So check out his YouTube channel before you pay for a class, because if you go to all his different playlists and stuff, he basically will teach you his strategy, and you can watch him live, countless times. You can watch him grow his CMEG account from $500 and some to whatever crazy amount it was, like $70,000 in a month. I don't know. It was insane. That was part of what got me hooked on him. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, I do, Mark. They are great for shorting. Okay, well, it's been, and yeah, wow, we're pushing an hour. It's amazing how fast the time goes when I sit here and just basically talk to a screen, but the time just flies by. So thank you guys for joining me and stuff. Yeah, okay. Wait for this to catch up, and yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Go actually accomplish something. It's 4:30, so I need to get some stuff done. A little runner recap. I'm gonna probably continue to do these every day. I mean, at least every day that I can. Yesterday, like I said, I was in a meeting, and then, it was hours past the end of market, so I didn't do it. But I'm gonna probably do it every day. I'm gonna try to do it much shorter. I'm gonna try to do like a 20 or 30 minute live video, probably like 3:05 or something, just a little bit after market close every day, and we'll talk about what's hot and what's moving and different patterns that we saw play out, things like that. So y'all can join me. We'll do this on a daily basis, or whenever we can all be here. Thanks for stopping by and supporting me and my family in this channel. I appreciate you guys very much. So thank you so much. Have a great evening.